Welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. This is episode 7, and I am your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. And this week, I am joined by both of my co hosts, Roger,
Hello?
and of course, we got Miko.
Going on, everybody?
What's going on indeed? Roger, what have you been playing, man? Let's dive right into it.
So I've been playing Dragon Quest 11, lots of Dragon Quest 11. I'm in the post game now where once you beat the game, they extend the story. It's actually not the real ending. You can stop the game there, or you can actually play the real ending. Playing the crap out of that. Played some WoW this week, just started Phasmophobia this week, and almost done with Near Replicant in the second half of the game now. So
Cool. What about you, Miko? You dive into anything else other than Warzone yet?
I've actually been playing it on. I'm going to have a different answer for you by next week, I promise.
One
But
of these
yeah,
weeks, he's
for
gonna
now, it's
blow
been
us all away.
Warzone.
One of
uh,
One of these weeks, he's gonna come out of the woodworks and be like, "Yeah, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII or some shit." Like, whoa, he
Some
changed
crazy
it up.
shit, yeah. Now, I might hop on Yakuza as my first PC game for sure.
no, it's definitely a
That's
good
what I
game.
like.
I would hop on Yakuza 0 and play the crap out of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It's so good.
Yeah, I
Not
started
yet
it
for now.
before.
Warzone and Halo.
Yeah, cool, man, definitely. But
Oh,
me
how about you,
personally,
Vic?
yeah, but say me personally, of course, I'm almost done with Near Replicant. I am on the
Uh-huh.
last mission of the game for the, I guess, the quote unquote first ending because there's fucking like
hmm
77 endings to the game. But so far, I mean, I think the story has been there the whole time. It really picked up. It actually hooked me at a certain point where I was like, I don't want to put the controller down. And
Yeah.
I like a game that keeps me wanting to play. It
hmm
does still have that the combat in the game is not the greatest, but it's like still it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But
It
I
feels
wish
a
there was a little
little
bit more.
clunky.
Yeah, it's definitely clunky, and it's just like I could really just never die at like ever
hmm
in that game.
No, I
I had
completely
died.
agree.
But yeah, more on that game later when we dive into that game review. Hopefully in the coming weeks. But I have been playing Outriders as well. That's also been a game that I'm just like shit. Can't put this motherfucker down,
hmm
like, cause it's like that story has you like, what the hell, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like it's really really fun. It's really challenging, especially because it, like I talked before, it's a co-op game, but it's really tough to play solo. So
hmm
nonetheless, it's definitely been fun. But of course, we diving into Warzone. We'll probably hop on some into that after this as well. But yeah, man, definitely looking forward to beating Near Replicant and diving into a new game.
hmm
But yeah, let's get into our gaming topics this week. We have a decent amount, a lot of good topics, I think. First off, we're gonna start here with a big one here. Pokemon games. The Diamond and Pearl was got their official release date for November 19th of 2021. This one's exciting. Roger, I know me and you had Diamond and Pearl. That was actually probably one of the last games I really remember playing.
It was it
And it was
for
on the
me. It was
DS.
the last one before I came back to the series.
Hmm.
It was it was probably one of my favorites next to Crystal, or yeah, I think it was Crystal for Gold
Crystal
and
was
Silver.
gold and silver.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Crystal and Emerald, I think was
Emerald
Diamond,
was
Pearl, and Emerald.
Emerald was for Ruby and
Third.
Sapphire.
hmm So I played like I would say Emerald was probably my favorite, but Diamond was my second favorite out of all of them, I think.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I
I
definitely agree.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see them remaster this one and take it to that new Let's Go Pikachu kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
open like
down.
the top
Sword and
down.
Shield.
Yeah, Sword and Shield, like the newer Pokemon games.
Mhm.
But Miko, were you ever into Pokemon? I know you probably played Pokemon back in the day, but when was the last Pokemon game you remember playing?
I was gonna say, I was not really too much into Pokemon. I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh. I think when I was like growing up, I looked at like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon as like two separate sides of the spectrum. So I was just like hardcore
Mhm.
Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, nonetheless, I always respected Pokemon for sure. It's fucking insane, like the culture and everything around it for sure. I can Yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. You know, they release all
It
this
alone
new
could
stuff
keep
from.
Nintendo afloat.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
for
by
sure.
far.
I mean, they've already been fucking raking in the cash.
Right, especially with
No.
the recent release of Pokemon Snap. I mean, that game's been reviewing and doing really well. Even a lot of
Mhm.
professional photographers have been using it to just play around with it and see what they can come up with and stuff. So I've been seeing those on like Instagram and whatnot. So that's been pretty cool to see that
Yeah.
take on it. Like it's difference between a casual player hopping in Pokemon Snap and like a full time photographer hopping in Pokemon Snap. Like it's a night and day difference. You're just like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like that's shitty. How did that get 5 stars? And that looks
Yeah.
fantastic, and that got like one. That doesn't make sense,
Mhm.
but nonetheless, the other game that
And
got its release date was Legends Arceus is coming out
Arceus.
Arceus. Sorry, I've always
Yep.
struggled to say that one.
No, you're
January
good.
January 28th of 2022. I'm really excited for this game because this is like a different take on the Pokemon franchise. It seems like.
It's kind of like Pokemon Ranger in the sense that it is an entirely new take on how Pokemon plays. Like Pokemon Ranger, for example, was a completely new game where to catch Pokemon, you had to draw on your DS screen and surround them with a lure, and you caught them that way. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be a really fun game. On the fact alone that it's sort of that it's like that medieval Japan, so it's going to be a lot more open exploration. I think, like Sword and Shield, from what it looks like, it's going to be mostly an open world game where you explore.
Right, and I'm excited because Pokemon itself kind of has been like that linear. Here's your path. Oh shit, your path is blocked. You got to go do X, Y, and Z before you can keep going forward further.
Right.
So, but this one it seems like you can kind of maybe be able to go wherever you want, but you might realize, oh shit, I'm not strong enough to be in this area. That's my take on it, maybe, but I'm not
Yeah,
100%
it's
sure.
sort of like Sword and Shield in the sense that you can walk up to the highest level creature right out the gate if you're not careful. And it's also like we've always had the 8 badges. That is the system. You go badge 1, 2, 3 to 8, and each one progressively increases, the ability to do things. I think with this, we're going to see more of a narrative-driven Pokemon game as opposed to a as you said, linear Pokemon game.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I mean, nonetheless, Pokemon always had like that decent story, but I
Yeah.
would love to see like a lore heavy, like super like story driven Pokemon game. And then this is it's definitely interesting because like you said, it's going back in time. Like even the
Mhm.
Pokeballs look like it. They're like the first edition Pokeballs, like the first creation of a Pokeball and stuff like that. So I'm interested. I'm
So
intrigued, but it's pretty cool to see that all three of these games are set to come out
Yeah.
end of year, pretty much end of year, beginning of next year. So that's
Yeah.
I'm actually
I
surprised
think
to see them so close. To be honest with you.
yeah,
I honestly don't think it's that surprising, because one's a brand new IP, whereas the other one's kind of a remake. It is going to be completely different, even though it's a remake. I still think it's not that big of a surprise, mostly because Nintendo has a lot of backing into the Pokemon franchise, and it's made them a lot of money, so they can afford to have 2 different studios open. And I believe 2 different studios are working on these games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure too. I forget exactly who's making
Hmm.
which games, but yeah. Nonetheless, I'm excited. That's big. I mean, I haven't really been playing
Yeah.
my Nintendo Switch. Then again, it's also in South Carolina right now, but
Hmm.
I'm excited to pick up a new game. I mean, actually, I haven't been playing any of the last recent Pokemon games to be honest. I might want to grab those and catch up.
Hmm.
But it'd be pretty cool. I'm excited to hop back into Diamond and Pearl because again, it was one of my last ones I was really big into. So I'm probably gonna pick that game up.
No, makes perfect sense there.
But
And
let's
yeah,
get
so, but to give you an idea real quick, just for
yeah.
those watching, Diamond and Pearl, the new remakes, they're actually made by a third-party studio under the Pokemon company called ILCA, whereas with Arceus, that is made by the core Pokemon company. So the remake is made by somebody else completely.
Is it Game Freak still or no? That changed a while
Yes,
ago.
yep, yep.
Is it Game Freak?
Arceus is Game Freak.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew one of them was, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, yeah. Game Freak is making Pokemon Arceus, whereas Diamond and Pearl are being made by a third party studio, like not their direct studio.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's awesome to know those. It's important to know and give a shout out to these developers and stuff, all the hard work that goes into a game because who knows how long both of these games have been in the
Yeah,
works. No matter when they were announced, they may have been in work way before then. So
no, definitely. But you have any thoughts, expectations? Like, you expecting the games to be good at all with
I'm
like the Diamond and Pearl?
yeah
Like, what do you
yeah. So
go ahead.
playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch, that was a different take on Pokemon in a way too. It kind of combined like the old-fashioned way of Pokemon and then like Pokemon Go.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of curious if both Diamond and Pearl and Legends of what is it, Arceus,
Arceus?
um, kind of take that take too, because it kind of looks like you can throw the Pokeballs at the Pokemon out in the wild,
Hmm.
as opposed to like battling them. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering. I'm really intrigued to see how that's taken. But I just love the graphics and just seeing how Pokemon evolve.
Hmm.
And like I said, I'm super excited because I had Pearl, you had Diamond, so Pearl, I'm excited to hop back into Pearl and see, and
Hmm.
because I have like a full memory of Pearl because I played that game over and over and over,
Yeah.
and it'd be interesting to see how it translates from like almost like 2D to 3D top down, like in a 3D world.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to see the transformation of that game. So I
Yeah.
think it's going to do
And
really
it's
well.
and it's also going to include the third game in that series of Pokemon, which is Shadow or something like that. It was like Platinum, I
Platinum,
think.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Platinum.
Pokemon Platinum with Darkrai, or I think is not Darkrai, but
Yeah, it was Gigrantus,
Yeah,
Gigantus, or
Gigantus.
whatever. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm terrible with the
it's
legends.
the Shadow Pokemon, the destroyer of everything.
Yeah,
But
but
no, I'm excited for it. But Bungie now, in the world of Xbox and PC as well now, Bungie is hiring developers for a new IP,
yeah,
supposedly.
yeah. So Miko, obviously you're a huge fan of the Halo franchise, given that Bungie doesn't make Halo anymore. Are you what are you expecting to come out of Bungie?
I have no idea, honestly. I'm excited for it nonetheless, though. It's pretty cool because I think that's like for them, going into a different, realm of gaming that they're not really used to. But yeah, I think it'll be cool for sure
Would
because
you
they
would
have
you
the
like to
funding
see
to
them?
make something really great, but nonetheless, big corps like
Well,
to disappoint us constantly.
yeah, but are you looking for them to make maybe a new game like Destiny, or are you hoping they maybe go back to their roots here? Because that's where I'm at. I'm hoping they go back to their roots and we get a game like Halo,
Yeah,
a
for
game
sure.
that's a spiritual successor to Halo.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I hope they, can carry on a new tradition for a new generation,
Hmm.
succeeding generation. But nonetheless, I wasn't really too big of a Destiny fan. Yeah, I was just, it was kind of fun, when when it first came out, there was a hype to it. We were just all like farming and stuff like that. But you really got to have like a different, type of motivation for that
Yeah,
game when you
and
get
they
to a
had to
certain point.
re-release the game too.
Yeah, right.
Over and over
Like,
and over.
Like a GTA style little update after like a year and a half.
hmm.
Yeah, it'll be what Bungie does because apparently this new IP is supposed to be a multiplayer action game. So I'm really interested to see where it goes. I mean, thinking about it, Halo's multiplayer was always great. Destiny's
Mhm.
multiplayer was very unique and a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still one of the most played multiplayer games as well.
yeah,
So I'm really interested to see where they take this. Like, is it going to be in that futuristic setting, or is they going to dial it back and make it more of like a modern warfare type shooter, or I don't know. I really don't know where they're going to go with this because they've done it all with future stuff. Do
yeah.
they stick to their roots of creating future games, or do they take a step back and maybe go back in time? I don't know. So that'll
Yeah.
be very interesting to see.
Mhm.
No, I'm
For
definitely
sure.
excited for it. But roping back to my earlier discussion, my games I'm playing Dragon Quest XI. Well, as I started playing Dragon Quest XI this week, they announced Dragon Quest XII.
Same. Very
So the
excited.
past few weeks, I've seen emails from Square Enix because they actually were announcing the 35th anniversary for Dragon Quest.
Damn.
Their 35th anniversary was last week. And so for the 35th anniversary, they announced Dragon Quest 12.
Yeah, because you said they dropped a teaser, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was literally just the title card. It was literally just in flames on a
The
barren
flame.
hellscape. They drew Roman numeral 12. That's it.
They got you
And
hooked. They're like, oh, I gotta know more.
well, yeah, no, I'm over here like, well, Dragon Quest 11 was awesome. If Dragon Quest 12 is even remotely as good as Dragon Quest 11, it's going to be a great game. It's going to
Oh
be,
yeah.
a 9 or a 10 in my book.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've actually never really played. I don't even think I've ever played a Dragon Quest game, but maybe I'll hop in because I don't know if these games you got to play in order or got to know the last game to be
No,
able to hop
no,
in.
they reset every time. So
Yeah.
every game is a reset, and they don't really often give homages to other games. The only thing that really happens is the enemies are all the same. So you always fight the same type of enemy, but the characters, the scenarios, the worlds, they're all different. Um, but you always fight the same enemy. So like your first enemy is always a blue slime. This is what you're gonna fight. But
Interesting.
yeah.
But Dragon Quest 11, that's on Game Pass, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because that's how you're playing it right now. So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, as everybody knows, I'm an avid supporter of Game Pass, so maybe I'll
Game
download it and
Pass.
check
Yeah.
it out. Uh,
Now, it's not for the faint of heart. I'm already 80 hours in and I'm still not done, and I'm mostly
Ooh.
doing the story.
Wow.
I might
I
have
am
to
80
rethink it.
hours into the story.
I might have to rethink it then.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a lot of
You
time
gotta,
invested in a game and
you
not
gotta
feel like
lock
you're
in
making
for the
any
long
progress.
haul right there.
Yeah. But no, I'm definitely excited for it, and I hope it's good. The developers in their live stream also said that it's a game. It's going to be more of an adult Dragon Quest as opposed to a more child-oriented game. So maybe
Interesting.
it'll have darker themes, more violence, maybe more gratuitous scenes, something similar to Final Fantasy, maybe, as opposed to their Dragon Quest. Because Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy are made by the same developer, Square Enix. They are, or publisher, Square Enix. So the difference between the two of them is one has always been geared towards more younger audiences, while as the other one is M, usually rated M.
Yeah, and that's Final Fantasy
Yeah. So
by far.
maybe this Dragon Quest will be more in the T to M rating.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see some more adult themes. I definitely am excited though, nonetheless.
No, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's crazy to think that that franchise has been around for such a long time, like 35 years. That's longer than any of us here has been alive.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
that's
right.
impressive. Like game franchises, they don't always stick around that long. I mean,
No.
there's not that many that can stand up for that. I mean, we just talked about Bungie, but Bungie's been around for 20, 25 years as well. So it's just like some of these franchises can last a long time
Yeah.
if they produce good games, but then there's some franchises that are a one hitter quitter, and that's
Yeah.
it.
No, definitely. And the thing is, it's you've got to balance between money grab and passion. Like I've always been able to see the passion in a lot of these Japanese games, and that's the thing. Square Enix is a Japanese studio with an American presence. And so Final Fantasy, yes, it's formulaic, but sometimes they actually you can feel the labor of love that goes into it.
Hmm.
Same with Dragon Quest, like you can feel the labor of love. It doesn't feel like they skimp at times. It's like, wow, there's still more to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to talk about Square Enix in general because what they make, the most recent Avengers game, right? Made produced, but at least produced by Square Enix, and that game
Yeah,
had the least amount of love I feel like going into that game because it's been one of the worst rated games of all time, and it's missing a lot
yeah,
of content. It's just a game that flopped heavy. But
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, is Near Replicant also Square Enix?
Nier is not, I don't believe. Nier is.
But I do know Outriders is Square Enix, and this has been a good game so far.
Yeah, no, they do make some good games, but no, Nier is from Cavia.
But who produces it?
Oh, Square Enix just produced the newest remake.
Oh,
Cavia
okay,
was the original developer of the
okay,
original version because Nier Replicant is actually a remake
yeah,
of the original game.
yeah, because that game only came out in Japan or whatever, the OG.
Yes,
But
correct.
yeah, I thought I remember seeing Square Enix on the load up screen.
Yes, yes, they are the publisher for the American audience.
Interesting, yeah. So Square Enix has their hands in just about everything at this point. That's what it seems like.
They are the main RPG studio anymore.
Yeah,
They've been around for 35 years. They- they're they're the Microsoft for RPG studio gaming.
yeah, basically. But on to a more relatable topic here. Sad news here coming is Call of Duty Online in China is shutting down. If you guys aren't familiar, they basically combined like all of the Call of Duties and made an online for
Yeah.
PC over in Japan, China, and I was super jealous. I mean, other than I could have guess downloaded a VPN and then downloaded the game and then played it, but I'm not going through that whole process. But I remember when that game was announced and came out like 8 years ago or whenever it was, and I
Mhm.
was like, this. is dope. But this is honestly what is needed now. We need a Call of Duty multiplayer where it cycles through and updates and gets combines everything, has all the weapons, kind of like I guess what you call it, Call of Duty Mobile, right?
It's almost like what Warzone tried to do with its launcher, where you have both, Black Ops, Warzone, and Modern Warfare.
Right, and it's just like it's so cool to be able to play like with the M4A1 on like firing range or whatever. Like you're taking Modern
Hmm.
Warfare guns and you're playing on Black Ops maps. Like I just really thought that that was really cool. But
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, I guess they're closing. It's due to decline in revenue, which is interesting to think about because
Well,
it must
the
not
thing
have the
is,
cash grab system in it. That's my guess.
it does have a cash shop, from what I know. It just lost its player base, I think.
Okay, well maybe it'll gain its player base if it released in more than just one country.
Yeah, I think it might have had some loot boxes too, partially there, because Chinese players are big into like the phone games, loot boxes and stuff. The Chinese market is a mobile market, and the game is kind of geared towards that mobile mentality.
Right. So Meek, you being a huge Call of Duty player, like if Call of Duty Online was easier to play in the United States, would that be a game you have played?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I love any. I'm not. I wouldn't say I don't love anything Call of Duty releases, but yeah, definitely. I love to be able to try anything Call of Duty releases. At least just give it that respect. But yeah, from what you guys were telling me, I never really heard too much about it before this show.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, if they merging all sorts of Call of Duties in one game,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
it
I
was a
probably would have gotten a
platform.
VPN and fucking tried to fucking play that shit.
No, it's crazy. Like this whole concept was like to me ahead of its time. Like Call of
Yeah,
Duty is trying to do that now. Like you said, like you're in
That
Warzone and you can play with Modern Warfare or Black Ops guns, and then
right,
like
right.
they're trying to mix some of the locations together because like I mean, you have like Summit and then you also have Scrapyard on the same Warzone map. So it's just like it's pretty cool to see that they're trying to blend the universes. I can't believe it took them
Mhm.
this long to try and blend the universes because that was only to me that was one of the biggest problems with Call of Duty is transitioning from Call of Duty to Call of Duty to Call of Duty. Every each developer wanted to try something different and change up everything instead of like trying to stick with itself. And I don't know, it seemed like it was all over the place, and that's why there were some Call of Duties where like this is trash. Oh, this one was great. Like
yeah.
it was always all over the place. Like if it's the same formula, the same game, that's good, you're never going to be like, oh, this is terrible. Just give me constant updates, give me new content. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to keep playing the game.
It's like an MMO is the kind of way of putting it. It's an MMO where it has that dedicated player base because it's a game as a service, not a game as a game. So like you're not paying for expansions, things like that. It is a game as a service. So you invested in it, whether it was a small membership fee for an MMO or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you updates every time. Like they kept it going. Things were changing. It's so you didn't have to buy a $60 game every year.
Right, and I mean maybe they're shutting down the Call of Duty Online in China to make their a global Call of Duty Online game. I don't know. I'm having wishful thinking right now. I know.
Wishful thinking, my man.
That'd be dope.
But and it's probably only available in China. My follow-up is because Chinese have very different laws about what games can and can't be published, and I believe there are some themes in some of the Call of Duty games that are anti-Chinese history,
Hmm.
so they can't have it. So to get that revenue, they made a Call of Duty game that didn't have those anti-Chinese themes,
Right.
because
Right.
you got to be very careful in China. Um, that they know everything.
Hmm.
They do. They have such a control over all information, like censor
So,
everything on the internet. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see.
so it's probably mostly they had that game because they needed a way of getting Call of Duty into China.
Yeah, but I just feel like Call of Duty was already big in China. I mean,
Hmm.
it's arguably the biggest game of all time. If you
Hmm.
combine all the numbers from every Call of Duty, because like technically GTA is the biggest game of all time. GTA 5, I should
Hmm.
say, but GTA 5 has been on three generations. If you
Yeah.
kept the same Call of Duty or added up all the numbers from that same time frame, Call of Duty would blow GTA out of the water.
Well, are you counting repeat people though? Because you can't count Victor across 3 games. It's just Victor playing on one of them.
Right.
And the same thing would be hopefully said about GTA being across 3 games.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they're counting the same Victor on
Maybe,
PS3, PS4, and PS5.
quite possibly. But yeah, my thoughts though, this game ran its course, I think, and they just ran out of steam.
Yeah, maybe they also ran out of like I don't know because it's not made by any like act or
No,
Treyarch
yeah,
or
it's a
Infinity Ward.
third-party
Maybe
studio
maybe
that's
they
not.
ran out of their time their contractual obligations to it. Like maybe they had a limited time. Like all right now they no longer have the license. Maybe they couldn't afford the license or some other legal disputes behind the scenes that we don't
And they
know
just
about.
said, declining player base.
Yeah, decline. Yeah, it just wasn't worth the time or the money anymore to keep it running. Maybe that
Yeah,
whoever was hosting it, whoever created it, can now go create something different. I don't know,
yeah,
but
but
nonetheless, let's move on to some more Xbox news here. This is good news, I think. But Xbox consoles maybe become easier to get through their purchase pilot program is expanding into the Xbox Insiders. I didn't even know that this was even a program. To be honest with you, I don't even know how you get into the pilot program, but I know the Xbox Insider program has been like that. You get first dibs on like all the betas and the new software updates on the consoles and stuff like that. So now those people also have early access to purchase the consoles, and it kind of reserves you a spot. Like if you're an Xbox Insider, you get a chance to buy the system. I think that's
yeah.
pretty dope. So maybe that'll help avoid all those scalpers.
But then the other thing at hand is any new changes that come out with the console, you're probably getting. So like if they make a slight hardware change, you're getting that slight hardware change.
Yeah, but I don't think Xbox is supposed to be making any slight hardware changes right
Yeah,
now. If
hopefully
anything, it'll be
not.
software. It's not like
Oh,
Sony, where Sony's making that
Yeah.
what we talked about, where they're changing the
Hmm.
in inside of the console. So,
Yeah.
because Meek, which console do you have?
I have the Series S
S.
512.
Yeah, because how hard was that to come by for you?
I picked it up at Wawa from a fucking from some random
I
dude
was
for
thinking, I was
three
like,
hundred
wow,
and
wow,
sixty
wait,
dollars.
how much?
Yeah, I was gonna say $360.
I mean, that's a steal, honestly. I mean, thinking about it, talking about one of
Yeah.
our friends that got that same console, Aaron, bought that same system that you got for 500. He got burnt.
Oh
It's
shit,
disgusting.
yeah.
Where I got the Series X for $500 because I got
Yeah.
lucky and got it on the first day of pre-orders.
Hmm.
Oh my god. Like what the fuck?
Right. So
What you
it's just
even
like
in?
it's just crazy to think how hard it is to come by a system right now. I
Yeah.
mean, we've talked about it on many episodes, but it's just like, damn, the game is like it's been out since what November, so you got 7 months into the cycle already, and it's still hard as hell to come by. Like my
Yeah.
boy from South Carolina texted me the other day, and he sent me a screenshot. He was like, "Bro, I finally got the PS5." I was like, "Yo, that's crazy!" Like it took 7 years of him trying, like 7 months of him trying. Like I was working with him at Hertz, and like every time I would see like a refresh of stock, I would send it to him. I'm like, "Yo, hop in line, hop in line, hop in line," and never got lucky. Like every day, could not get a
Damn.
console, and he finally got it 7 months later. It's just
Damn.
it's crazy to think like you try that often, you have
Yeah.
no luck. Like
It
that's one case.
it's
Like imagine how many people are trying to do that still.
hmm
That's a problem. And I mean, I know that all the
well,
circumstances and stuff that are
yeah.
causing it. So hopefully we get to the point where you can just walk in the
People
store and
can
buy
just
it.
buy it if they want to buy it.
Right. 'Cause, I mean, it's even like that for the controllers. I want that new bright green Volt controller. Guess what? Can't fucking buy it. It's sold out everywhere. I mean, I might be able to order it online, but it's on like back order. I'm just like, no, I want to go buy it. Just want to go buy it.
Yeah. You
Same
want it.
thing.
You want it now.
And same thing with that new camo controller. I want the new red camo controller. Nope, can't get it. It's on back order. I got to add to my collection back here.
Hmm.
But staying along the lines here of Xbox though, this is pretty cool. I mean, being an Xbox fan, I mean Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos will be an exclusive for 2 years on Xbox. This is exciting because this is like new technology coming from Dolby that helps enhance their audio. Like I tested that Dolby
Yeah.
Atmos for like a month or whatever. I had the free trial, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy. This is like
Hmm.
night and day difference. Like it provides
Yeah.
like a different take on surround sound and enhances the experience." I don't have a TV that supports Dolby Vision, so I can't personally discuss that one, but Dolby Atmos is really good. But
Hmm.
not all games support it, but it will be all. It's basically going to be any. It's going to be like on all next gen games.
Well, yeah. And is it going to cost money or something to get it?
Oh yeah, there's like a subscription or like a one time fee that you can buy and stuff like that. You know how the life we live in, everything is a subscription based.
Well, I mean, I don't
Everything.
think you have like. I think the sound fine on PC. Like I've always had great surround sound with PC games.
Yeah, but apparently, like I guarantee you, if you do a trial on your PC
Hmm
with Dolby Atmos, you're gonna be like, whoa,
hmm
this is night and day difference. You may have good. It may still sound good, but like people who
Yeah,
are really audiophiles are going to
yeah, yeah.
really appreciate that. And the same
hmm
thing with Dolby Vision. I've never seen what Dolby Vision looks like in person because you can't see that in a video. Like you just
Yeah,
never can. It's the same thing when you watch a video of 4K when you're watching it on 1080p. You're never going
yeah.
to know the difference.
No, it's like when people are like, "Here's the frame rate difference for a game," and it's like, no, you can't see it because your stuff's already locked at the frame rate it is.
Right. The only time that I've seen someone to be able to showcase frame rate was if they were recording a camera recording something else. That's the only time that you can see the frame rate difference in a video.
Mm,
Wow.
And that was when the consoles were first coming out. They were showing it with like Dirt 5 because Dirt 5 runs at 120 frames per second, and they were
mhm.
showing the difference between 120 and 60, and like it you don't realize like 60 frames a second in a racing game, like there's actually like a stutter that happens, but like
Yeah,
120 it's just like there's no stutter. What stutter? What are you
yeah.
talking about? But like you don't see it in the naked eye because it's a fast-paced game and stuff like that, but it could be night and day difference. I mean, that's why a lot of gamers prefer to play on PC because they can have 120 144 frames per second, and shooters is really valuable because like come on, Meek, you're not playing Warzone on your computer, are you?
Nah, yeah, I have
Yeah.
a 1080 monitor. Yeah, it's just ass. No, I play it on my console.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but because it'd be night and day difference, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
No,
Roger,
yeah,
Yeah,
because
because you
you
play
could adjust
Warzone,
your field of view and
I
shit
play
like
Warzone
that.
at 144.
yeah, because like
Crazy.
that adds to the reaction time because like it's like
Hmm
delayed, obviously.
I'm gonna say I have trouble like because I watch streamers, they're playing at 144 and they just like see shit so well and their reaction
hmm
time is so much different. I'm just like when I play my shit, it's just like hard to see somebody like at a ridge or something like that. It's
hmm
just I can tell the difference for sure.
Yeah, minute differences, you can see them a lot crisper and clearer because you're getting twice as many of those moments
Yeah,
to see it.
yeah.
No, I completely agree. It's so nice to play at 144, and I'm glad that consoles are finally catching up.
Yeah, right. But it is crazy to think that we play in cross-platform lobbies,
Yeah.
and I'm playing locked at 60 frames a second versus you're
But
playing
you're
at 144.
well, yeah,
So you're
because
gonna
you're
see
playing with me
shit
on
quicker.
PC,
Yeah, you're gonna see shit quicker than I see it.
and so
Mhm.
is every other PC player I'm
Yes,
playing against
exactly.
because you're in the PC lobby.
So like that, like so if we
Yeah.
lose in those PC lobbies, I'm okay. I understand. I get it. And there's also modders and hackers and everything else under the sun still.
Nah, yeah. But no, I definitely would love to give Dolby Vision and Atmos a try, but it's cool that they're coming exclusively to Xbox and not to PS4. It gives Xbox yet another leg up on their competition.
Yeah.
Honestly, in E3, in a week and a half here, Sony has a lot of ground to cover, and if they don't cover it fast,
Sony doesn't participate in E3.
who's yeah, that's what I mean. Like we're gonna see a lot from Microsoft. Sony has their own conference that goes on,
Yeah,
and theirs
I
comes
think
out what
it's like in July or I don't know when they're
Yeah.
doing theirs.
So it's within a month. So Sony has a lot of ground to cover during their conference that they do since they no longer join us at E3.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We're in E3 time is what I'm getting at here. We're
Yeah.
in conference time and their conference needs to be a hit or it's either hit or miss at this point.
And it's been a
There's
lot of
no like
misses
that wasn't
lately.
okay.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
lot of misses lately. Honestly, I mean
Yeah.
Microsoft's conference last year was kind of like, but I mean everybody's conference was like pretty
Yeah, it
terrible
was.
because the adjustment to all digital. Like I think
Yeah.
I mean everybody knows I'm an Apple fanboy, but I think Apple digital conferences have been the best because their transitions from scene to scene to person, it's just
Hmm.
like the cinematography that's involved with that too is just like, yo,
Yeah.
like this is
They
incredible.
have the money to hire crazy people.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
money,
Apple
but
has
they
way more money.
yeah. So I mean, it's really awesome to see that
Yeah.
the effort that they put into their conferences. I would love to see it in these big developer or like Microsoft
Oh,
and
we'd all
Sony.
would love to.
Yeah, but they're not going to
No.
spend that extra money. Why would they? It's all about
No.
making money, not spending it. Sometimes,
hmm
but I can't say that on Microsoft. They drop 8 billion. It's all right.
Well, they're gonna make it back in no time though.
Yes, especially once
But
Starfield comes out.
But talking about Xbox here still, games with gold in June. So a bunch of games here that are, they're not old, but they're not anywhere new. Like some of these are like 2, 3 year old games, if
if
not
not
four.
older. Yeah, some of those are 360 games that are on the list here. So
Yeah,
obviously they're 10 years old. Some of them are.
yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting. You got the King's Bird, which is available the whole month of June. So first of the month to the 30th, and then you have Shadows Awakening comes out June 16th until July 15th. You have Neo Geo Battle Coliseum June 1st to the 15th, and you have Injustice Gods Among Us June 16th through July 15th. The only game that really rings any bells to me personally is Injustice, by far.
That and Shadows Awakening. I've seen that as well. I haven't
Yeah,
played it, but I played Injustice.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say, yeah, Injustice is the only one that rang a bell for me too.
Yeah, but
but I mean, it just
it-
because we've
did
been
you-
bringing up the whole thing with Sony's new games of the month or whatever,
yeah,
whatever uh, subscription that they have for that,
yeah.
and it's just like those games that they have in their 3 or 4 games free every month have
They're
been
awesome.
they're pretty dope games. They're AAA, they're big games, and it makes the games with gold seem so insignificant. You're just like, what are these? What are these
Yeah.
games? They're old, they're outdated, but then like you also think like you're getting these 4 free games on top of your 300 game collection part of Game Pass. You can't really complain
Well,
about it.
well, if you have Game Pass. If you
Right.
just have gold, you just get these games.
Yeah. But I mean, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you only get 2 games a month though, too, as well.
Right.
That's the
Well, no, you
thing.
get four. You get four.
Sorry. Sorry, yes. You
You
get
get
you
two
get two
360
games
games.
every
You get
15 days.
yeah, but so you get two 360 games and 2 Xbox One games.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll make that transition soon to make once next gen games come out, they'll start adding those to
Yeah,
games of gold. So that'd be pretty cool. But no,
hopefully.
yeah, nonetheless, moving on to another game here that we've talked about plenty of times. Watch Dogs Legion's coming out with this new out of nowhere update called Watch Dogs Legion of the Dead. I personally think this is pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to make me want to go back to play the game, but like zombies have taken over London, so you got to worry about the bad guys and zombies. But like, I want to know like how interactive these zombies are to the environment. Like, are they consolidated to certain areas, or can they spread? Can you prevent them from spreading? I don't know.
The last time I saw a good zombie update to like any story-driven game where they're just like, we added zombies to the game was Red Dead Redemption, where they had their
Mm,
zombie expansion. I think the original Red Dead had a zombie expansion, and when you played, the zombies slowly spread across the map, and you had to, as you cleared them out, if you didn't clear them out quick enough, they started spreading to a new zone.
Yeah.
And eventually the whole map was covered in them. And as you cleared them out, the town would return to normal and you would go back to normal. And then online, I really hope to see Watch Dogs Legion of the Dead online. I really hope that they add it to the online multiplayer in a way to play with your friends.
yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. And I think this update comes to PC first, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
if I read that correctly, and then it'll probably come later to console, which is the complete
yeah,
opposite of the original update for like the co-op
hmm
multiplayer stuff. It was supposed to come to PC, but then it came to console first and then PC later because they had some issues and stuff. So I guess this is
yeah,
making up ground. Like, hey guys, you guys get the new zombie update since we fucked up the last one.
yeah. And it's in alpha right now, so it's pretty far out from release. We shouldn't see anything for a little bit here. And I don't even know how much you have to pay for it as well,
Right, I
you
didn't
know.
see any price tag put on it. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like a free alpha right now. Maybe once it comes out,
yeah.
it's part of the season pass because it's a Ubisoft game, so all their games have season
hmm
passes. So
No. So hopefully we'll see, maybe it'll be a free update.
yeah, hopefully.
Maybe it'll be a whole DLC we have to buy.
What was your thoughts on this, Miko? On this whole
I was
Legion
gonna
of the Dead?
say, I mean, whenever you can dabble a little zombies into something, it's always gonna be cool to see for sure. And when Roger mentioned in the Red Dead Redemption, I remember that vividly. That was awesome. I had the zombie edition game of Red Dead. I remember they had
Ah,
a whole
it's so
different case
good.
and stuff like that, dude. It was so fucking
It was
cool.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
unfortunately missed that game. I actually never played. I played it like 2 years ago when was trying to get back into story-driven games, but I completely missed that whole train of Red Dead. Like I never beat the first one, haven't even touched the second one yet, so I kind of missed that train. Hopefully, I'll go back to it eventually. But no, I definitely agree with you, Miko. Any game that just throws in zombies into the mix can, to me, have a hit or miss. I think one that did really good
Yeah.
recently was Warzone. Not with the zombie outbreak of the ship coming over, like the original one when it came out of nowhere and like the original zombies came like was just thrown into Warzone and it was just like a different take and you can become a zombie and kill people and stuff like that. It was pretty cool how they did that because it changed up the formula, it made you play the game differently and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I mean, nonetheless, that's pretty cool. I mean, even thinking about zombies in Call of Duty, like that changed Call of Duty forever. In World at War, when you beat the campaign and you unlocked zombie mode, and where everybody was like, "Whoa, what's this?" And then they
Yeah.
updated it where everybody had access to zombie mode. You didn't have to beat the campaign for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that at first. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the only way
Crazy.
to get it. You had to beat the campaign, and then you would get it.
And the thing was, they didn't label it like it's zombies. It was like you've unlocked Notch, Daron, Totem, and you're like,
All right, what's this?
what's this?
It happened
Yeah.
right after the credits too, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Well, it goes straight from the credits into the zombie game too.
yeah,
So like the credits finish, and you just wake up in this like musty building, and you just hear, "Ah,"
and
and
you're
you're
just
like,
like,
what?
what is
And you
this?
That's
look
fucking.
outside, and there's this zombie crawling out of the ground. You're like, I didn't know Germans crawled out of the ground. And you're like, wait, no, that's a zombie. What the fuck? And you just start shooting away.
And then there you have it. And we still have
Yeah,
zombies till today. And just seeing that the evolution of that zombie mode
yeah.
from
Like
Notch Daron
honestly,
Toten to where we're at now with the whole the outbreak game mode where you're open world
I'll,
zombies more or less.
Mhm.
I'll make the argument without Call of Duty Zombies, I think the zombie genre wouldn't have been as popular as it is today.
Mm.
And I
Continue to
think,
be because you think about it.
yes,
Left 4 Dead was out before. Dead Rising was out before. All those games.
yeah,
I
I
love
were
Left
it
4 Dead.
were it was Left 4 Dead out too? Was it out before Call of
The
Duty Zombies
the
for the original World at War?
the World of War would have came out 06, I think 07.
Yeah, it
So
would
I mean,
be.
it was probably right around the same time frame.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, I think they're around a very similar time
yeah.
frame.
2008 was World at War, and then we've got Dead Rising. That was kind of like the initial thing. That was 2006. So yeah,
mhm,
2006 would have been the first time zombie games really started to come out. And like Dead Rising was big, but it wasn't huge.
yeah, not
I
yet.
found that not everyone was on the train yet, but I think with the innovation that was brought about by Call of Duty, adding in that sort of zombie feature, that endless horde of zombie feature,
Yeah,
I really think that revolutionized the gameplay for a lot of people. And people were like, "Oh, zombie games could be really fun."
yeah. The zombies game mode was what battle royale is today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thinking about it, because like when battle royale first came out, it was like one, and then all these other games like everybody have to have battle royale game. Same thing with the horde, endless rounds game mode. Like Gears came out with horde, and then you had Halo with their firefights, and then like it just continued. Like every game had to have this survival round based game, and it was
yeah.
just like it just started this whole new
Yeah,
genre that just took
and
off.
and that's the thing. The formula was written by Call of Duty, in my opinion, for zombie games. Like I'm not. I've always been very critical of Call of Duty, but I'll give them where credit is due. They wrote the formula on requiring a zombie aspect in a shooter game to really spruce it up. What having that sort of endless horde mode, they really helped with that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, obviously that endless horde mode was probably around before that, but Call of Duty just took it to a whole nother level. As we mentioned
Yeah.
before, that fan base is so huge, and I
Yes.
mean, and even though that was still at it was still kind of at its early time of the multiplayer because the year
Well, that
before
was
that
the
was
infancy.
yeah,
That
because
was
that
Call of Duty's infancy.
right because the year before that was Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare. That was when
Yeah.
multiplayer became
Hmm.
huge. That was when they implemented the perk system and the
Correct.
leveling up a certain way and stuff like that, and prestiging, and all that stuff. So World of War was that next iteration, and then implemented
Yeah.
zombies on top of that. Oh, there goes Call of Duty, explodes.
Yeah. And like we didn't see zombies in Modern Warfare 2, but it returned with a game after it.
Black Ops One.
So, yeah. When with Black Ops 1, cuz like World at War was held up. I think a lot of his expansions was held up buy the zombie game mode.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got extra multiplayer maps, but we paid for the zombie maps. That's what people were paying for.
Oh yeah, because it was $15 a DLC. That was before season pass was even a thing.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember staying up. Like I would skip school the next day if it came out during the week, and because I would stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning until that shit dropped.
yeah,
Like I would
yeah,
wait till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd have like my friend Devin White over or whoever was over.
yeah.
We were like, "Yo, we're so ready to play the new map. Like this is gonna be
Hmm.
so dope." Like every year, like for World at War and then for Black Ops One, like I was so stoked for that new map to drop. And that was during
Yeah,
a
no.
time where updates weren't that fucking long or that big, where it would download in like 30 minutes or less, and you're just like, all right, cool, we're right into the thing, and we're like, what the hell do we do? And then when they implemented like the Easter egg and stuff like that, and finding what the story was in each map, that was so
Yeah,
dope. It was just
yeah.
another time.
It was a way for them to help keep the Call of Duty series running harder and better. Because,
Yeah,
like, multiplayer can only do so much. But when you're done with multiplayer, you go on to zombies and you play a little bit of zombies, then you go back to multiplayer.
yeah, it was
Like, it
just
was a way of going back and forth without having to worry about the story existing. Like, you beat the story, drop the game, I'm done. Now
right.
you've got the zombie mode. No, and I definitely think that's something that we're going to see with Watch Dogs here. They're
I
like,
hope
we need something to crutch up our game.
right. Miko,
And
were
it's
you a
probably
big
going to
zombie
be.
player, like in Call of Duty?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I was in my first year of junior college, when I lived in Pittsburgh, that's all me and my boys would play. We lived in apartments right next to each other, like next door to each other. We would just play
Mhm.
fucking zombies all the time. Black Ops 2 zombies.
Oh yeah,
Like, that shit was like crack, bro. Like it was always fun to play. And yeah, it's just just following it growing up. It's always like the evolution that they, took. It was really cool. Like when they came out with the bus in that one, I
Transit.
forget which one that was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was that
Transit. That
was
was crazy as
so
fuck.
silly. I
Black Ops
liked
Yeah,
it.
Two, if I'm
I
not
used
mistaken.
that used to have me like shit myself, especially like if you got
Apparently,
on the bus and got off of it in that little cornfield and shit. And, like that game really got scary as shit.
oh
Like it
yeah,
Yeah, it
really
felt like it.
put a lot of depth into it with the
yo, that
bank and stuff
that
like that, withdrawing money and
that
putting
map
into the
took
fucking
Call of Duty Zombies to a whole nother level, and they never
crazy.
had anything like that map ever since. Nothing
Yeah,
close.
no,
And rumor has it they're supposed to be remastering that map.
that'd be
S-
insane. Yeah, that'd be super fun.
And to see what they
Sign
could
me
do
up.
now, yeah, right. Have my money, take
Yeah,
it, please, just take it, all of it, even though it's
yeah.
free. But
But
yeah, nonetheless, let's finish out our gaming topics this week with one that we kind of touched on. I think it was last week or the week before. Was Crisis Remastered Trilogy was announced. It's crazy to think we were just talking about Crisis 2 Remastered, apparently in the works and supposed to be coming out soon and stuff like
yeah,
that.
they're
And
doing
they,
the whole series.
yeah, they were like,
Hmm.
boom, here's the whole trilogy.
We were joking about number two. It's all three.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously Crisis 1 Remastered is already out, and then Crisis 2
Yeah,
was rumored, and they were like, you know what, have them all.
let's just throw three into the mix.
And I'm
Fuck it.
wondering if Mass Effect had any influence in it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, 100%. Uh, a lot of people hopped on that hype train so fast for Mass Effect. I know a bunch of my friends picked it up, and I was like, okay, cool, have
I can't
fun, I
wait to
guess.
pick it up. Honestly, it's on my game list to play because I missed out on that franchise. I've never played any of those games.
Hmm. And
I
yeah, a lot of people haven't.
and I picked up Mass Effect Andromeda. It's sitting back here on the shelf. And I've never played that either, but I know that
Mass
game
Effect,
might
the
as well go
MMO.
in the garbage can over here and light it on fire because it's that terrible. So
Yep.
it's just like everybody has been they're thirsting. They want that franchise because Mass Effect 1 through 3 is like it was revolutionary. It was one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Like the impact, like carrying your character from game 1 to game 3
Game three.
had
Yeah.
such an impact. Like your decisions you made in those first games had an impact on those other two games. You don't
Hmm.
find games that have that impact anymore. I can't think of
Yeah,
any.
that's something that's a bygone age at this point. Like I forget what other games I played that did that. But Mass Effect was one of those staples because it was a story-driven game. That's the key. Your choices mattered. You killed off play. You chose who lived and who died. So
Right.
like I think I think it's neat that they remastered and all, and I just think the issue at hand though that really bothers me, we're in a remastering stage because the game industry is stale. It's that's
Yeah.
it. It's stale. We're continuing IPs that should long since be dead. Halo. We're
Hey
continuing
now.
forward. I'm sorry. Halo has jumped the shark and then walked backwards and re-jumped past that same shark. They don't know when to stop, and I
It's not
think
going
this new
anywhere.
game, yeah, no, we're sitting in a world where people were gonna buy a game just because of the name,
Yeah, yeah, more
and
or less.
so a lot of games have gotten stale, and I think going back to these remastered editions, these re-releases, it's a way for them to go, okay, this was when gaming was in its prime. Let's get players to still think gaming's in its prime.
Yeah, more or less. Miko, did you ever play any of the Mass Effects at all? I can't remember if we touched on this before.
Nah, yeah, I never played any of them, but saw commercials and stuff like that. I was actually looking at the gameplay for, or like the remastered gameplay for the Crisis, the video you guys sent.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
And
it's
it looks really cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like something, if I had the fucking storage that I would, just play just to see how it was.
no, yeah,
But
but like we talked last week, Crisis is a game that pushes your system to the max. Your
mhm.
settings, like Crisis, the remaster of Crisis One, I actually was reading into it a little bit more, has a capability on PC to be played at 8K. How many rigs are going to support 8K?
Yeah, that's
Like none. But they're doing it. They're going to push your rig to the max. I mean, but
Yeah,
that's
it
what
was
Crisis is known
scalable.
for. Yeah, like that's awesome to see. Like that, a game that's so old can still probably push your rig more than any game in existence by
Hmm.
far. But yeah, but circling back to Crisis, the like staying with Crisis is Crisis. It was a game that I dabbled in. I think I missed the first one, and I kind of played the second one, and I bought three, and I
Yeah.
just played three for the multiplayer. Like I played three, I think with David a few times, so that was about it. It was cool. It was different. The nano suit is what Crisis is known for, so that's what kind of
Yeah.
what made it fun. And then multiplayer, like being able to change your nano suit to do different things, gave it perks or whatever, was pretty cool.
Mhm.
But it was trying to compete during a time where Call of Duty was at its peak. You're not going to win. You're not.
Yeah. No, it wasn't meant to be a multiplayer game. It was a single player experience. That's what Crisis 1 was about. Um, and that's what Crisis 2 and 3 was. It's the same thing with like uh what is it? Far Cry. It's meant to be a single player game, and people are like, "Yeah, I play the multiplayer." It's like Uncharted. Like people played the multiplayer, but
I
it was
forgot
really
about
made for it's the single player.
I forgot that had
That's the thing.
multiplayer.
And Crisis was always a story driven experience game. Like it was an experience to be had.
Well, best believe I'm going to be picking up this remaster because
Hmm.
I've been so big into playing story games, man. Like I missed out on so many good games because I
Yeah.
was never into story back then. Never.
You were always like in with your friends playing competitively, trying
Yes.
to play multiplayer
I was
games.
in a competitive scene and I was at a point in Call of Duty where I should have fucking went pro and I just didn't have the time or the money or the effort to go pro. Cause like that team, Miko, I know you obviously ran with us, and Roger, you did too. Like back in the day, like Modern Warfare 2 and 3, like our team was goaded. Like we were so tough. We've
Yeah.
invested so many hours into that game and could like never lose. I can pick up a nuke at any given moment. Can I do that now? No, I'd probably struggle. I've
Mhm.
tried to go back to those games and replay them. Can I get it? No, I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't have that same skill level as I once had. But it's just like,
But
damn, I missed out.
nah. But with that being the last gaming topic here, we can move on to the world news segment here.
Yeah, we got some interesting
Um,
topics, I think.
yeah, no, this week's interesting. So, just goes to show four more people were indicted for participating in the Capitol riots, all of which were part of a far right group called the Oath Keepers. You surprised?
Not at all. And honestly, when I read
Not
that,
at
I really
all.
thought they took oath and they were under oath in our government. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna sound
No,
dumb
no,
on this
no.
part.
It's literally a far right group called the Oath Keepers,
Yeah,
and they are a heavily armed militia.
It's
yeah,
interesting to think that they would have a name called
Yeah,
Oath Keepers, but then they go against the oath. You know what I mean? Like the metaphorically, like
yeah,
obviously they took an oath maybe like on their own beliefs and stuff like that.
yeah.
But when it went against like our oath,
The country's ruling body, like the
yeah,
fact that we have a constitution, we have a society that is built around a document that is a living document, and they're going against what we believe in, a fair and free republic.
right. I mean, like you just asked, am I surprised? No, because we all know that this came from the right side. These guys are just right side extremists,
Yeah.
and they did what their oath was. This was their belief, and this is what we're going to make happen, and we're going to try. They tried,
And
and
now we're
guess what? They
supposed
failed.
to yeah, and now we're supposed to just like, turn the other way when they do this stuff. That's what they want us to do. It's total horse crap to me. But in the end, though, four more people were indicted, and what really surprised me is the age of these men.
Mm.
There was somebody our age who is now in custody for this, and I'm like,
It's because it's
it, it,
taught.
it yeah, and it's like, come on, guys, like, can't you think for yourself for a minute? Like, the fact that they just said, "Oh, it was a stolen election," all these people were like, "It was stolen," just because they said it was. It's like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's
But
zero
doesn't
proof.
but like the biggest thing is like doesn't that sound familiar?
Hmm.
like we thought it was a stolen election when Trump won. We
Yes.
thought it was a rigged election when Trump won. And now look, Trump lost and we're like, "Hey, they're like, "Hey, look guys, it's a rigged election." It's just like,
Well, and the thing was, it wasn't that we thought it was a stolen or rigged election. A lot of us knew what happened. We all knew what happened,
deep down,
and
yeah. That's why we
yeah,
let it go and we didn't do
yeah,
Capitol
we were
riots
like,
or shit.
we took the wrong candidate and the wrong approach. And now it's like we took the wrong candidate and the wrong approach, but it was stolen. Uh, no, you just beat down people who were tired of being beat down. That's
Right. I mean,
like,
because like think about it, like Trump lost but still broke the most votes record.
well, yes, he's lost by the biggest, like the biggest margin though too. He has lost single-handedly by the biggest margin in the history of any election.
Yeah,
But
the
because of
electoral
him,
college vote.
we had
Was it the electoral
no,
college or was it the
no,
popular vote?
the popular vote. He lost by the
Okay.
largest margin, and not to mention he also had the help. Got us the turnaround we did. We had the most people ever vote in an election,
Because of
like
him.
percentage of the population wise. Not the fact, like, we know the population is constantly expanding and growing bigger, but the fact that percentage wise we had the most amount of votes ever voted.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people just got to the breaking point. Was like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm tired of this shit. We need change and we need it now
yeah.
because we're tired of seeing this. But what's your takes on this, Miko? I haven't heard your voice over there in a little bit.
No, yeah, it's just glad,
You get enough wine in you tonight.
I'm just glad justice has been taking its course with it and everything going on. But it doesn't surprise me nonetheless, there's some oath keeper freaking supreme right activist group. But yeah, it's just I hope, everybody involved with that day, gets what they deserve, coming moving
Hmm.
forward at the end of the day.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
100% agree.
right because it honestly was one of the saddest days in our American history.
I
Honestly,
I feared for our country on that day.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
because
same
like
I
here.
I I was at work the whole time, like, wow, are we gonna have a country at the end of the day? Like, what's gonna
right.
happen?
No, it just really made me wonder or like question like obviously y'all know about White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen, those two popular movies, pretty good movies I think. We basically just watched a real life version of that, all but
Yeah, a really shittily
almost
put
there.
together version of it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like we basically watched a random activist group go into a a government building and just take it over.
Well,
We
the
did it
crazy
over there.
thing is it's multiple activist groups that
Yeah.
came together, united under hate.
Proud Boys, Oath Keepers,
Yep.
Like there's probably an
Um,
endless list.
QAnon.
but sticking with here with the right wing thought of things, West Virginia has now come up with a new incentive for the COVID-19 vaccine. So our anti-vaxxer population is so anti-vax that they have to offer them guns. We'll give you free guns if you get a COVID shot. Like, what kind of crap is this?
It's insane. I forget what other story there was about, incentivizing to get the vaccine, but it's just becoming like insane. Like what I saw, it was crazy because I saw videos of AstraZeneca. They're
Hmm.
giving a vaccine, but mostly in foreign countries, and
Yeah.
like people are saying like their phones like keep trying to connect to Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth name is AstraZeneca and stuff like that. It's just like Like, what the hell is going on? Like, why, like, why are they going to these extreme lengths to get you these vaccines? You know, why are people going out of their way to, say that these vaccines are fucking chips? And it's crazy.
Yeah, everyone's so bent out of shape and worried that these vaccines are going to kill us or whatever.
Yeah,
The thing is,
it's
it's
sad.
if we don't get to the point
Social
where
media.
people are vaccinated on the whole, we're just going to see more. We're going to see more mutations, and it could become deadlier.
Right.
Exactly.
I got a couple thoughts on this. So,
Yeah,
if that's not the one of the most West Virginia thing I've ever read, they're going to offer guns for a
I,
vaccine. Like that's
I
truly what
actually,
West Virginia is about. That's really
I,
what they're about. And
I
it's
have a
sad that they have to incentivize a vaccine. It's sad.
yeah.
They're not the only country that's been or state that's been incentivizing it.
Mhm.
Every state's different. They're like, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. Just take the goddamn free vaccine to go do it. Yeah, am I anti-vax? No, but I'm still cautious in a way. But like, I'm still in that bubble of I've had COVID. Do I need it? Kind of ordeal because like if I get the flu
The
shot and I still get the flu, then what's the point of it? That's why I'm going to get it anyway. I don't really like. It is what it is.
Well,
Like,
it's very different. It's very different from that. Whereas if you have the flu mutates a lot worse than COVID does.
does it?
Thing to keep in mind, if you get the vaccine, it will stop you from producing the COVID virus in your body, so you can't even spread it. That's the
Yeah,
other thing to keep in mind. So it actually is 95% effective. It is the single most effective vaccine that we've ever gotten for a virus like this.
yeah. I mean, I'm
So
like I've always said, I'll get it eventually. Just to be, it's not on top of my priority list at this
I
point.
get you.
But
But
another thing, I did see videos of people who
yeah,
just get the shot and they're able to put a magnet on their shoulder.
I saw that.
That
I haven't
made
seen
me
that.
really question things like how is that even possible?
Well, you're watching people on the internet.
I
You
know
just you can put some glue or tape and just do that.
what I mean, but
Yeah.
if they show you like both sides, like it's clean to go like this and it's just sticking there because
I
and you can tell
mean,
it's a
I
magnet.
mean, super glue is clear, so glue is clear.
But you can still see the reflection of it. Like no, these videos showed like legitimate proof. Like they took a regular magnet and put it on their shoulder.
I have seen nothing of the sort.
Yeah.
This
So
seems like TikTok video kind of stuff.
I mean, but there's
I know
also
a lot of people that can like that are trying to attest to it. No, no, I don't. I'm not
no. But I'm
trying
saying
to.
like, do I
I
hundred
gotta
percent
see it
believe
to
these videos? I
believe,
don't know.
but
But
uh,
using our platform here to spread that kind of unfact checked information
Yeah.
would be wrong.
No, I just wanted to
But
yeah,
bring
no,
attention
yeah,
to
we're not
something that
supporting it.
seemed cool
I'm just
or
saying, yeah,
yeah.
interesting that I saw.
it's thoughts that are lingering in
Yeah.
Mhm.
society right now.
But
No, I
because of that
definitely
kind of
agree.
stuff happens is why we do have anti-vaxxers. That we do
Mhm.
get people like, oh no, I'm
Yeah,
definitely not getting it because there are those people that are uh, susceptible and very
yeah.
gullible to the fact that they see one
Well,
video and they're
that's
like, oh, not getting it. That's
and
it.
that brings us back to our earlier comment here about it brings us back to the comment where we talk about the riots because one person just said it was stolen without proof. These people just hook, line, and sucker.
Mm.
I was talking with a coworker, and at some point we were like, these people in like Minnesota, for example, they stopped taking the vaccine. They stopped giving their kid the smallpox or the one of the vaccines for measles or something, and we had an outbreak of a disease that we eradicated from the human body. We started seeing outbursts of it because
Yeah.
people just stopped giving their kid the vaccine.
Yeah.
At
Oh,
some point, you got to say, if people don't want to take it, if they die, they die. Like
yeah.
we've given you the precautions to save your own life.
Right. I don't know.
And like the problem that I feel bad though is the people who can't get the vaccine. I know
Mhm.
people with autoimmune diseases. They can't get the vaccine and they are actually not safe and they cannot return to normal society until 70% of Americans are vaccinated.
Right.
Otherwise, we don't hit herd immunity and the likelihood is they will catch the disease.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not anti-vax. It's just like I'm not anti-vax because of any conspiracy or anything. I'm just more of anti-vax of like, do I even need it? That's my
Yeah,
thinking. I don't know
I
why
get where
people
you're coming from. They have answered that question on
because
their
like
website.
I personally don't get the flu shot.
I don't either, but the flu is definitely different from COVID, and we don't want to associate the flu with COVID. And that's the thing.
But
A
that's
lot
what
of these
everybody's been
people,
doing,
like the people
including
for
myself.
in West Virginia, for example, this is a population that is a lot more rural, a lot more right-leaning. They offered them guns to get this shot because a lot of these people are going to be typically anti-vax
Right.
because they're skeptics. They don't they know what they know, and if they can't know it, they don't believe it.
Right. Yeah. So
So
I'm giving it a few more months, and then I'll probably hop on board and get it.
I get you,
I'll probably be at the tail end of the 70% of this,
but
but
yeah,
I'll get it for sure. What's your
if we want to move.
Mika? Have you gotten your shit?
No, I haven't. I haven't. But yeah, for sure in due time. Nothing, I'm too worried about it at the moment
Right.
Yeah,
because
As
it's
long as
just
we
like
keep doing the right
Texas has
thing,
millions of doses just sitting in fucking corridors. But
right? We're willing to give shit out now. We're just like,
I was gonna
all
say
right,
PA's
hey,
been on pretty good rate in terms of getting vaccinated and everything
yeah.
like that.
yeah. I rather just I'm personally healthy, and I rather just keep letting everybody else get it who truly needs it
Well,
before
the
me.
problem is though, if you don't get it, you will still spread COVID. That's
Yeah.
the issue. That's why we want it at this point.
But
It stops the
I don't know
spread.
if I'm gonna be an asystematic person if I've already had it. That's why like I'm really
Yeah, you will.
I need
You
information. Like I need
you
legitimate
can.
information from
That's the
stuff.
thing. You still produce the COVID virus. If you get near it, it will cultivate in your lungs, in your airways.
Hmm.
And then as you breathe, you are still expelling it. Whereas somebody who has been vaccinated, when that latches in onto your body inside of you, it actually it cannot reproduce because your body actually kills it.
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much.
And that's the thing. Where you've had it, you've got a slight immunity, but you don't have the full immunity that somebody else would have had with the
Right.
vaccine.
Like that's why like I feel like I'm really confused because like with the vaccine they basically inject you. Some of them have the live virus in it, so like you actually get
There's
COVID, but it's not enough to to give it to you. You know,
it it
it's
the thing to think about is it's sterilized. It's like it's been spayed and neutered. Like you take your
hmm
cat to the vet. It
right.
can fuck, but it can't
Like
get pregnant.
right. So like my thinking behind it is I had COVID. I actually had the legitimate live virus in me. My body
Yeah,
now knows what that is. My body should now be able to produce the antibodies for it, which
you
it
say that. You say
should.
that, but the antibodies they already proven don't last.
Right.
If you catch it naturally. That's why you have to get 2 doses of the vaccine typically, because the first dose tells your body it exists. The second dose then writes it permanently.
Right. And that's another thing that I'm really worried about is after you get the shot, when do you need a booster shot or when do you need to get it again or how do we need to get it again? Like I want to know that I need to know that kind of information first because I don't want to get a shot now and have to get a shot like in 2 months or whatever.
Yeah. You only need the thing is you will need a shot. If people don't start taking the vaccine, we are going to need new shots as the virus adapts and it evolves.
Yeah, which
If
it does
we
every
can get
day.
to herd immunity, we can stop it from mutating. So the
Hmm.
thing is, if you get it now and we don't hit herd immunity, you will need another one. But if you hop on board and help us get to herd immunity, we may not ever need another one. That's
Right.
the other way to think about it. Like everyone's sitting there holding out, like, we'll see what happens. But if too many people hold out, then we'll never reach it.
Right. Yeah.
It
I mean,
only
that's
takes,
definitely the downfall. I know I'm part of the problem, but also have my own thinking
you
of
know,
it. But I'm not corrupted. I have different reasonings.
yeah, you're not like I don't know what's in it anymore. Like we've had the original discussion on one of the first episodes I appeared on, almost a year ago now. We talked about how people just don't trust it, and they're like, I don't know what's in it. It's like it's a
Yeah.
vaccine.
I mean,
What are you? If you
it
were a scientist, I get not knowing what's in
right.
it.
Right.
you know,
I mean, so scientifically, like you just gotta trust science in a way, but it
yeah,
definitely when people say I don't know what's in it, it's because like they don't it's a lack of trust in the government, which at this point like it's 100% valid because like this government you just really don't know and you really don't can't trust in a lot of ways. There's a lot of reasons why people don't trust
I
the
get where
government. So why would I get a vaccine that they're forcing me to take? They want to
they're not
incentivize
forcing
me
you.
to. Well, yeah,
They're not forcing, but
they're
they're asking you
incentivizing
to.
it now. They're heavily
Yeah.
asking you, and now they're incentivizing it with different ways of trying to
Well,
get people to do it. So it's just like
I
those
mean,
people who
they want
truly
to.
don't believe our government have a trust issue with our government. are going to be the ones that hold out because they're like, I don't trust the
Yeah.
government already, but now they really, really, really want me to take this
Now they're
vaccine.
giving me weapons of mass destruction to take a
Right.
vaccine.
After just
Right? It
telling
can
me that they're
really,
about to take
it
them
can
away,
really
but now
throw
they're trying to
huge
give them to
question
me.
marks.
Like, I'm really
Well, no, no,
confused.
no. West Virginia is its own state, like every
Right? Yeah,
state.
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
So
I
it can
know.
do what
Yeah.
it wants,
But
and
it's
it
just, yeah,
doesn't want to
it's
take
just.
away
I feel like a
guns.
lot of red states are gonna resort to that.
They're gonna have to incentivize it. Like Ohio already has $1 million lottery open. If you get the vaccine in Ohio, you are entered for that $1 million lottery.
Oh my goodness. But I
Yeah,
want to touch on something real quick before we move on to the next topic. I didn't put this in the
yeah.
chat related to diseases and stuff. I don't know if y'all saw, but the H10N3 flu, swine flu or whatever, has just got its first case ever in a human over in China the other day or last week or something like that. I was just like, all right, cool, back
Just
to
see
square
that.
one.
Yeah, the big issue we have is China is very unsanitary. It
Yeah.
is one of the most unsanitary first world countries because it is a first world country at this point.
Oh yeah,
It
buddy.
is super unsanitary. People shit and pee in the streets of cities. Like, I've seen videos of parents who are just like they pull their kid's pants down and the kid will shit on the street and you're like,
That's a
"What?
crime. That's like a crime
Do you have
nowadays.
no shame?"
Right.
And the other big thing is a lot of people just like shoot snot rockets onto the ground. They'll just like spit all over the ground. It's the issue at hand is they still shit in holes in the ground as opposed to toilets in a lot of in all of rural China for the most part. Like if you leave a city and you go anywhere on a highway, all the pit stops are just holes in the ground. There is no plumbing.
Yeah, that's
There is
crazy.
no sanitation of human waste.
Right. No, yeah, I just wanted to
Crazy.
bring that up because I read it. I was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is crazy because like we're already, and they said that this is a disease that could cause another pandemic, and I was just like, oh, we don't need to go into another pandemic, like
Yes.
not that quick, because obviously pandemics will happen. They will be a
Yeah.
natural cause that will happen a lot. I mean, they happen every 100 years, the big ones, obviously, but it's just like not yet. But I just wanted to bring that attention. But sticking to along the lines of guns, and this one kind of touched on me personally, being involved in this kind of community, is a firefighter has shot some of his colleagues and even injured his captain at a fire station because I'm
Well,
guessing mental health issues is what
the
this.
crazy thing is, I think they said that he actually hadn't been a part of the firefighting force for years.
Right. So it's
The
just like
article said he hadn't been there for 10 years or something.
right. So, but PTSD can be with somebody for all their
Hmm.
life. Maybe he
Oh
was,
yeah,
maybe he dealt with something on a call that haunted him and really fucked with his mind for forever, and then he just got away
and
from.
he blamed him.
Because the man that died, yeah, was a 20-year vet.
Yeah. So it's just like, like it just makes you think like how important like mental health is. Like we talk about it all the time, and it's just like to see. It's sad to see a firefighter, a normal citizen that was part of the community, just snap and go kill his brothers. Like when you're part of a firefighter, like a fire department, like those are family. Like that's like your brother. Like you're fighting with them. Your lives are on the line at all times together. And for
Yeah,
you to just turn your back and just say, bang,
yeah,
like
and not only that, the follow up to the whole situation is the police followed him back to his residence and surrounded his place. He lit his house on fire and killed himself.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he had
like
that plan already established what he was going
yeah,
to do.
he got rid of the fire department and then lit a fire. And it's sad to see that something like that happen.
Isn't
You
that
know,
a coincidence that a firefighter went out in flames? Being
purposely.
yeah, an
Yeah,
arsonist at
yeah.
that.
And I think it really brings into perspective here the mental health issue we're dealing with the 21st century.
Yeah,
You know,
it
we've
affects
got all of
anybody and
these
everybody.
issues. Yeah. And people are very susceptible to it and unable to cope with it. And we don't even have the proper healthcare system to help these people.
Yeah, not at
I
all.
don't see firefighters, in Europe doing these kind of things. They're there and they do their job and they have benefits and people can go and get help when they need it. In America, going to a psych isn't free.
No, yeah, it's definitely sad, man. Like mental health is
Yeah.
just it's one of my biggest things that I love to touch on. And we're actually touching on it in our in my talk show tomorrow with Anthony. But it's just like I said, this touched me personally because I know personally firefighters
Mhm.
that have gone through issues, and this is something I actually want to bring up on the show here that touches me even more personally is my mom pointed out to me that one of her friends that has known my dad a long time personally has said that my dad has never been the same since the Ryan Mon incident.
Mhm.
That was back in 2004 when Ryan Mon died in a car accident. Well, not in the car accident, but died because of the car accident. He died
Wow.
7 days later. And but
Yeah.
my dad was the one that saved him and gave him them 7 extra days because my man was about to die right there on the spot, and he saved him
Yeah.
and gave him at least another week with his family. But um, this person has said my dad has never been the same ever since that incident happened.
Yeah,
And I
that
personally
shit'll
don't know that
scar anyone.
because I don't I will never be able to see that difference in my dad because 2004 we were in fourth grade, so
Yeah.
I will never know the difference between what my dad is
Hmm.
then and now because we were just too young to comprehend that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that's
dad
just
was
like
dad. Dad was
right,
perfect. Dad couldn't do wrong.
right. So it makes me wonder like was my dad and is he still truly affected by this? And I really hope that he will never do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to keep in account is he'll probably never talk about it either. And
Right,
you know, he's probably never seeked help for it, and that's the thing. You can't. Nobody can get help. So what do people do? They drown away their sorrows. They look for the answer at the bottom of a bottle.
right. Because it just makes me wonder like does my dad personally think that
Hmm.
Ryan Mon died because he personally could not have saved him
Hmm.
like and made sure he did not
Yeah.
die. Like I
Does
want
he
to know if
blame
that's his
himself
heart.
in some way?
Yeah, or somebody else or whatever. Like whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
it just makes me wonder. Like I really hope my dad doesn't go down this kind of route, but it definitely affects people differently, and it is
Mhm.
noticeable on the outside if people know you, and after a certain event, like it can really definitely change you.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But
But
on to some good news here though.
yes,
Some the medical advancements that I want that you actually brought to our attention, Roger. Trials begin on a lathagen
a
that rebuild
lozenge.
Awesome.
lozenge, sorry, that
Lozenge.
rebuilds tooth enamel. This is pretty good. I mean, because like that'll
Yeah.
help with a lot of tooth decay and people who actually
Well, the
have like a
well,
disorder
the
with the
craziest
teeth.
thing I think I want to bring up here is like talking about the medical industry. One of the things that boggles my mind is like one of the most corrupt medical industries is dental.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a huge scandal across America where dentists are just drilling to drill. If
Yeah.
you got dental insurance, they drill your mouth. They don't care. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's an issue here. Drill your mouth. Well, with something like this, now we have, you know, this is a whitening technology that doesn't damage the underlying tooth. It rebuilds the enamel and whitens at the same time. It
Yeah.
actually rebuilds the tooth. It rebinds with the tooth that's already in place with the natural tooth creation process.
Hmm.
And all it takes is a little lozenge now that you suck on for a few minutes until it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really incredible because like um, obviously taking care of your teeth is like with toothbrushes and stuff like that is relatively new, I guess per se,
Mm.
like in human history, because like
Yes.
so it's just like now we're at the point where if your teeth do get to a certain point where they're non take care like they're rotting out, you
Yeah.
could potentially reverse that and give
Mhm.
like because like my mom takes care of her teeth every day but her teeth are decaying because of like her steroid
Pain
that she's
smoking.
no not well that too but major but
Yeah.
primarily her teeth are decaying and falling out because of being on
Yeah.
her going to her remicades once a month
Yeah.
being with that the steroids and stuff like that that ultimately destroys her teeth.
Well, that's the same thing with like cancer patients, for example.
Right.
Dom, for example, his teeth were damaged because of chemotherapy, and I feel bad. That's something that you can't reverse, and now you have to live with something like that. Dealing with people who can't always control their teeth. Now we can hopefully reverse it and save them.
Hmm. Like Miko, you
And
imagine not having a good smile.
Nah, yeah, my shit. I always self conscious about my smile growing up.
There you
Fucking
go.
gap shit, but I've come to own it. You know what I'm saying? But nah,
yeah.
yeah, the Lawson is definitely going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, it turns out pretty well. Doesn't have any, weird after effects or anything like
No,
that. But
exactly. It's in clinical trial now, and yeah,
yeah,
I could see
honestly,
it
if
now.
it
It's
does
gonna be
hit
on
the
a
market,
commercial. They'll be like, "Get this new Lithogen, but this is the side effect. Like you may die,
yeah.
you may have loss of breath." Like, like they start listing off these all like negative side effects. You're like, "Damn, do I want a good
death,
smile or do I
It
want to
blindness,
miss my
may it
deafness.
dive?"
may do the complete opposite of what it's supposed to
My teeth will look great in my casket.
do.
Nah. But another thing, talking on the issue of cancer here, the University of Edinburgh successfully tested a drug now that can kill cancer/bacteria cells without damaging the nearby tissue. That means we can now take a scalpel, like a clinical scalpel with medicine and treat cancer at its core and not everything.
Right. No, I mean, I think that's personally huge. I mean, like, cancer
Yeah.
is so huge in our world and it kills a lot of people, and there's so many different types of
You know,
cancer.
if we can
And this is
finally get to the
basically
point.
curing it. This is basically curing it. All but.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but this is damn near close.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Cancer is just a tumorous. It's a cell that can't stop reproducing, and if
Right.
we can just treat that before it goes out of control, we may be able to get rid of chemotherapy.
That'd be awesome. Because, like, chemotherapy also has there's, like, a long list of side effects and negative
Yeah,
things, too. Because, like, we were just
teeth
talking about,
loss,
like, teeth,
teeth
hair.
damage, and teeth loss,
Hair,
Yeah.
hair. Loss of body weight. Body tissue, things like that. It kills your entire body and then gives you immunity. Autoimmune disease temporarily until you get out of chemotherapy. So and that's the other thing, roping back to viruses here and vaccines, we take them for the people who cancer patients.
Hmm.
They, even after getting cancer and getting treated for it, they can still have autoimmune diseases from it.
Right.
So, being able to treat that and not cause more lasting health issues just to fix cancer.
That sounds like a win-win to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my
What,
thoughts exactly.
what's your thoughts, Miko, on this? Like, you think this is something that should be available to everybody, or you think this will be something that's like going to be super expensive once it's made to public?
Yeah, I mean, I give it already. The medical industry has a very notorious history of like holding medicine and certain practices that were very efficient on a pedestal. For
Mhm.
well, I don't know how to
The
those higher class
percentage, yeah.
folks.
Hmm.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I mean, hopefully, they don't make it, so it's just like, people are clawing to get it, it's like, people on like currently, with people that need organs and stuff like that, it's they're just completely on a month wait list, shit like or years in certain
Right.
cases.
Mhm.
But yeah, hopefully, they can be able to put this in a capacity to where they can help a whole shitload of people
Yeah.
at a
Right.
good rate.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like our country is definitely notorious for like hanging medicine above people's head and like, oh, gotta be quicker than that. Like
Yeah,
that kind of
up thousands of
mentality.
dollars
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
because like
going
the
going
biggest
to debt,
culprit.
going to debt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the biggest culprit is like insulin. Like insulin is made super cheap. It's like $4 to make or whatever. But we sell it here in America for like $100 plus for
Few
insulin.
$100.
Yeah, but
Whereas the
like over
follow-up is
right, other countries they'll sell insulin for like $10.
$6, I think it is in Canada right now.
Right. So it's just like, how do you put a price tag on something that is needed, a necessity for life?
Well, that's the thing. Canada put a maximum price tag. America is like whatever you want to charge.
Yeah, there's a minimum. It has to be no less than 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Greedy son of a bitches that we have in our country. And unfortunately, greed does run the world. I mean, ultimately, it's one of the root of all evil is greed, and that
Hmm.
can result in money, time, anything. It's not just money.
No,
But
definitely. But moving on to money and greed here, this last subject for today in the entertainment world, Discovery Channel,
and
Discovery
Warner
Media,
Brothers.
Discovery Communications. Well, not only Warner Brothers, AT&T finally got approved for its merger with its subsidiary Warner Media to merge with Discovery. So now AT&T owns an additional company underneath of it
Mm.
that's going to merge with Warner Brothers Entertainment, Warner Media.
Yeah, this is incredible. I mean, this is a terrible name, Warner Brothers Discovery. Like, you couldn't have come up with something. They just took like, all right, cool, you're Warner Brothers and you're Discovery. Just gonna put them together. Yeah, terrible. But this is going to be a collection of media that's going to be very rival. I think personally rivaling to these other big media companies that are going to have streaming services and stuff like that. There's a lot of content, but am
I
I
think
not mistaken that it doesn't Disney own part of Discovery?
no,
I swear
not
they
that I
do.
know. No,
Because if
Discovery
never
was a
mind, never mind,
standalone.
never mind. They have National Geographic.
Yeah,
It's the other one.
yeah. Yeah. So, but underneath of Discovery, there's a bunch of different stuff. And one of the things I'm really worried about actually is with the merger, what's the future of like Discovery going to look like? Discovery is actually one of those channels that actually tried to give people actual
Knowledge.
information,
Yeah.
real knowledge. We used to have, uh other real sources of this knowledge, but they've kind of disappeared, like open source free or, you know, even paid for, just like really well done, knowledgeable content. It's kind of by the wayside. Everything's for entertainment anymore. Do you think do we think we're gonna see like Shark Week now become, even less informational than it already is?
Yeah. I mean, I think the reasoning behind that is because we have the most how to word this. We have easy access to information. We have
Yeah.
it's so easy to us now that we no longer need these programs. We no longer need TVs. We don't need anything to
Well,
give us this information. If I need, I'll go, okay, Google,
yeah.
what's this? Hey, what's this? Okay, or hello, Alexa, or whatever her name is. However you to provoke her,
Yeah.
they're going to give you the answers without watching a show. I get whatever information I need at any given moment.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I think the other issue we have to look for here is with all that information at our fingertips, you also don't know what's true and what's not. And I think the
Right.
issue at hand is Discovery is held to a little bit better, or bigger, better of a standard.
Yeah.
And with I think the merger here, I'm worried that we're going to see, just entertainment coming out of Discovery. They're going to still call themselves the Discovery Channel, but is it gonna be is it gonna be like the History Channel that's like ancient aliens, which, you know,
I like that show.
is that really
What's up, Perm?
history? Yeah, hey Perm.
What's going on, Perm?
Is it's not history anymore. Are we gonna see Discovery Channel just start making up game shows and shit on it? Like,
Right. They're gonna start
I'm
theorizing like big, heavy, like ancient aliens. I
yeah.
love ancient aliens because I love that whole mystery of
Yeah,
space and
I
what
I
happened
love it. I
before and
think
stuff
it's
like that.
fun. I think it's a fun thought experiment. But the issue at hand is it's entertainment,
Right.
not
It's like,
history.
well, yeah,
I'd
then
like to know actual history.
right, because then it starts to fuck with perception of like, all right, cool, because people start to believe in ancient aliens. Like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
this is what actually happened in ancient Egypt. Like, no, this is a theory of what they think could have, might have, should have, might not have happened. You
Pyramids are
know,
made by aliens.
like I do personally question to think of like how that stuff was made. I
Y-
don't know if I truly believe in the whole slaves built it. How do
Well,
like because some of that stuff
there.
they struggle to do nowadays.
Well, no, no. So there's more than just it actually wasn't built by slaves. Just so we're all on the same page. The pyramids we say it was built by slaves, but that's just because of Abrahamic religion telling us it was built by slaves. The Jews claimed that they helped to build they were slaves of the Egyptians, and that's what
Yeah,
they did. Well, technically, they weren't the slaves of the Egyptians that built it. It was actually the citizens that lived under Egyptian rule. They weren't slaves. They just lived in towns and cities, and that town and city's resource, its export, was building tombs for kings, for
right.
pharaohs.
Yeah, so I mean, like we talked about like
Yeah,
how history is written and stuff like that, and it can be
yeah,
interpreted so many different ways, and it depends
yeah,
on where you get the history from. Like,
yeah.
and
And
then it
that's
makes
what
you
I'm
question
worried
like
about.
what is the legitimate fact. But yeah, definitely circling back to this, you don't know what kind of content that you're going to get from Discovery, whether it's going to be 100% fact checked. Like, is it going to be actually informational, or is it going to be just like a
Sensational,
show like a
centralized, something that's to grab your attention.
right? So I mean, but it'd be cool if they do a little bit of both. Because like I personally
Yeah,
like Ancient Aliens, but I also like to know history of shit. Like I want to know
yeah.
actual factual information of stuff too.
Something maybe other than World War II. But yeah, I love history as well.
Right, exactly. So nonetheless, this is pretty cool that they finally come to conclusion on the name, even though it
Yeah.
sucks. But the merger, I think, like I said, it
The
puts
merger
them
has been in process for 2 or 3 years now, I think.
right.
So,
So now it's finalized and stuff like that. So we'll see that the new app or whatever they come out with and see all their
yeah.
content together. You think about
And
Warner Brothers has a lot of content. Like they also have a lot of
yeah,
games too. They're in the gaming market because
yeah,
maybe they can beat Netflix to what we talked about last week. Netflix getting into games. What if they implement like
maybe.
a media and games streaming platform or something? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing ideas out there right now.
And also the merger, a lot of people have speculated is they want to get into the market now against the other big power players like Netflix. They actually want to be that next big streaming platform, and they think Discovery is that next avenue to pull people in. Because like I'll be honest, I like Discovery shows,
Yeah,
and Shark Week is huge for a lot of people.
yeah.
Shark Week is huge for Americans.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. Like I never really watched too much of it, even though I do have a fascination with sharks. Even though that's one of the reasons why I don't get in oceans. But it is just like it's pretty cool to see how sharks. And at least they teach you some stuff in that show. But I hope it doesn't
Yeah.
change to be just become a reality show. You know, that's what I hope it doesn't become.
Hmm.
But
Well,
nonetheless, do you guys have any closing thoughts or remarks before we end the episode?
nah, just I'm excited for E3 coming up here soon. Next week we'll be able to talk about E3.
I'm
Hopefully we'll have
excited.
a guest on who maybe give us some insights they think for E3. Anything you guys excited for it? Hopefully, which let's just one thing. Whose conference do you want to see the most?
Xbox.
I want to
For
see
sure.
Nintendo's. There's one game I'm waiting for, man, and I'll talk about it more next week. But
Yeah.
Nintendo's the conference I want to see.
Who did you say, Miko?
Xbox for
Yeah.
sure.
I just think Xbox has like so much stuff in store that they're just ready to go. But like, here's my dick.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I feel
they're
like
just gonna show their hand.
Look
like
at it.
they're going to be like, this is what we got, and it's big as fuck. We got all of this shit. You know, like I think
They're
they're at
gonna
that
play a
point.
hand of cards.
Yeah,
Their hand of cards got five aces at this point. It feels
Yeah,
like.
right because they have a
their,
lot
their
of
acquisitions have been crazy.
right. They have a lot of games in the work. Who
Yeah,
knows like what new services they might come out with? Because like, who would have thought of Game Pass even 5 years ago?
Mm.
yeah.
Nobody knew
Well,
Game
I
Pass
mean,
was going to be like this.
yeah, and honestly, it kind of follows the flow of thought here with Netflix kind of on the rise 5 years ago. So the next iteration would be what other media? But yeah, no, I'm excited. Let us know what you think in the comments, the YouTube video below, or let us know next week in chat.
Yeah,
Join us
because
for a talk.
yeah, but say next week, we're definitely going to be diving into a lot of our true E3 predictions, touching all the
Mhm.
shows and stuff like that. That'll be basically majority of our content next week for sure. But anything from you, Miko, before we close out this week's episode?
Oh no, man. Awesome show. A lot of great topics, man. I'm excited to see the playback. And yeah, as Roger said, make sure you guys, get feedback on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on for Twitch, lunatic underscore oblivion with an A. Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you very much.
But definitely want to start off by thanking all the viewers that did show up to us live and everybody who does check us out later on our YouTube channel or any other platform, whether you're listening to it audio in the future and stuff, because we are slowly going to get those onto all the audio platforms. But definitely check out these episodes right now. Next week will be again 7 p.m., but the schedule will be changing here in the future. But we'll keep you updated next week on that. We do have a new episode of the Talk Show with Vic tomorrow at 7 p.m. as I bring on Anthony Malstenic as we talk about mental health, his podcast that he runs, and also talking about a little bit of sports, whether it's basketball or soccer or stuff like that. So we definitely got a lot of good topics tomorrow. But Miko, where can we find you at?
I mean, at Meek Sweat on Twitch, all one word, Meek Sweat, all lowercase, Facebook as well, and Instagram.
Cool. And you, Roger?
Well, Meek already gave it away, but twitch.tv/lunatic underscore oblivion. Oblivion starts with an A.
Yes, sir. And of course, you can check me out at Twitter, Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox, X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game, party up, talk, whatever you want, hit me up. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Questions, concerns, or even want to come on any of the shows that we got going on, hit us up. Also, my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/ Mr. Never Chillin. That's where you check out the talk show. And if I decide to stream, because I do have been dabbling in some streaming lately. So definitely check me out on that. But I definitely want to thank everybody again. But until next time, peace.
Peace.